These types of questions can be a headache with the time and the clock, and I've seen them in different forms. So we're told that the water is leaking at quarter gallon per hour, and then every day at 1 p.m., they add 14 gallons of water. Now, we're just going to create the sequence. So in these questions, I don't really look at the answer choices because I know that's not going to really help me. I'm starting with 32 and 3/4 gallons at 2 p.m. and I'm going to write that down too. And this is what makes this problem hard, is you got to make sure you're keeping track of everything. Now I'm just going to write the sequence and say, okay, what happens between then and 1 p.m. Wednesday next day. So that would be 23 hours would have elapsed. So right now I'm not taking into account the 14 gallons we'll dump at 1 p.m. So excluding that. So in 23 hours, since we're leaking 1/4, we would have leaked 23/4, which is 4 times 5 is 20, is 5 and 3/4 gallons would have leaked. Since we started with 32 3/4, we can subtract them, and it's a nice subtraction. We'll have 26.7 gallons at 2 p.m. At 1 p.m. on Wednesday. But then they're also adding the 14 gallons at this point. So we will have 41 gallons. And you'll note that between this 1 p.m. and the 2 p.m. on 2 p.m. Tuesday afternoon and 1 p.m. Wednesday, the volume just kept going down. Then it went up to 41 gallons. So we haven't hit 46 and 3/4 at all. So at this point, it will again continue to decrease. So then what we do is we write down, okay, what will be the amount of water in the tank at 1 p.m. on Thursday? Because we know again we'll be leaking 1/4 gallon an hour every hour. Now that will be a 24-hour time period, because we're going from 1 p.m. to 1 p.m. next day. So 24 times 1/4, that's 6 gallons. So this was 41. So 41 minus 6. So we'll have 35 gallons at 1 p.m. Thursday. But then we also add the 14 gallons that are being dumped at 1 p.m. So there will be 49 gallons at 1 p.m. Thursday. And now it's going to drop, and it will, at some point, it will hit 46 3/4. So then what we can see is 46 3/4, how much do I need to drop this by? So this would be 2 1/4 gallons is the drop from 49 to that target volume. And then the question is, this is 2 1/4 is really 9/4 of a gallon. And since we're leaking 1/4 of a gallon per hour, that would be 9 hours, because it's a multiple of 9. So in another 9 hours, from 1 p.m. Thursday, we'll hit this target volume, and that would be 10 p.m. on Thursday night. So the answer, if we look at the choices, is D. So this question actually can be hard when you're doing it under time pressure. I certainly felt that way, because there's these mixed fractions, there's the clock, and you have to keep everything square. I mean, obviously, once you see the solution and you've done it, it looks easy, but trust me, in the exam under time and pressure, it's not. And also, I think the purpose of these types of GMAT questions is that I haven't seen this particular question on the GMAT. I've seen in other places. And so there's always that element of surprise, and that's kind of what the GMAT is trying to do, is to throw something that's a little bit different. And no matter how much you practice, you may not have practiced on a particular question like this. Some of you may, but in general, I would say the large majority probably haven't. And that's what you're trying to prepare when it comes to taking the GMAT. So that was just a little bit I wanted to add context to this question. But to summarize, the answer is D.